Hello everyone, this is Bhavya Sharma here, your teacher from the Med Concepts of Bhavya. Today we would be talking about the another part of the lung anatomy, that is the blood supply of the lung anatomy. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Another thing that I want you to know is that today we would be going through these notes as well as through my laptop screen, where we would be studying the diagrammatic explanation to whatever we are studying here. So, first of all, there are two circulations in the blood supply of lungs, that is bronchial circulation and pulmonary circulation. The bronchial circulation consists of the bronchial arteries and veins, whereas the pulmonary circulation consists of the pulmonary arteries and veins. So, first up, talking about the pulmonary circulation. I already mentioned in the last part that the pulmonary artery here is in blue color. Usually the arteries are in red color and the veins are in blue color, but here in the lung it is opposite. Why? Because lung is the purification center of the body. That is, it is the purification center of the blood and oxygen in the body. So here it is opposite. The pulmonary artery is blue and the pulmonary veins are red. To recap this part of the video, please go to the last video that I uploaded on the lung anatomy. Now the first thing is, see, first of all we'll go through the notes and then we will go through the diagram on my laptop screen. So the first thing is pulmonary artery. Note that it is blue in color, so I have marked it as blue. First point is it carries deoxygenated blood. So by deoxygenated we mean impure blood. It carries impure blood from the heart to the lungs. We know that, right? From the heart to the lungs, but in the heart from the right ventricle of the heart. So deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle of the heart goes to the lung through the pulmonary artery. And now, after reaching the lungs, it ends in the capillary plexus of the alveolar walls or capillary plexus on the alveolar walls. Another thing that you need to know, we already read about this in the root of lung, that there are two pulmonary arteries, right? One in each side of the lung. So, left side we have one pulmonary artery, right side we have one pulmonary artery. So there are totally two pulmonary arteries. You will understand these points better when we go to the diagram explanation. Okay. The next part is pulmonary veins, which are in red color. I have marked the color here. So there are two veins in each lung. This also we have seen in root of lung. I will add a diagram to the screen. So we have two veins in each lung from the hilum. Okay. So, two from the left side and two from the right side, and that is why we have totally four pulmonary veins. Now, this is the first point. So, two veins from each side, that is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 veins in total. Now, I told you that the veins carry the oxygenated blood here. Okay, so it carries the oxygenated blood from the lungs. You see it in the last point, from the lungs to the heart. Okay, now from the lungs to the heart, now what place of the heart? Left atrium of the heart. So it carries blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. The another thing is it starts from the capillary plexus, that is the alveolar capillaries. Now why do we say that? See, in the pulmonary artery we saw that it is going from the heart to the lung. That is why it ends in the pulmonary plexus. Okay, because because the capillary plexus is present in the lungs, right? So it ends in the capillary plexus. Whereas since it is starting from here, that is the pulmonary veins are starting from the lung to the heart, that is why it starts from the capillary plexus. Now what is capillary? Capillaries are the small blood vessels that are the branches of the main blood vessels. We will see that in the diagram. Before digging deep into the lecture, let us first see this diagram because it is a very important diagram. These are the pulmonary alveoli. What I want you to see here is that these are the bronchioles, that is the terminal part of the lung before it goes and ends up into the alveoli. So this over here are the bronchioles and this over here is the alveoli. Now when we talk about the alveolar, there are three things in the alveolar. One is the alveolar sac, in which the alveoli is present. Then we have the alveolar duct. Duct means small tubes. And the last balloon-like structure is known as the alveoli. If you see here, this whole part is the alveolar sac. That is the sac that contains the alveoli. And this duct, that is the tube, is the alveolar duct. And these are the alveolar pores. Whereas these balloon-like structures are the alveoli. Okay. Alveolus is singular and alveoli is plural. That is it. So this is the diagram that I want you to remember, because we would be digging deep into it later. Now, as I already mentioned, we would be talking about the pulmonary circulation through this diagram. Okay, so if you see clearly in a close-up manner, this blue color structure over here is the pulmonary artery. As I told you, the artery here is our blue color, whereas this over here is the pulmonary vein. Now, I have also made arrows already for you to understand. So this arrow goes downwards. So this shows that the blue color arrows are for the blue artery, that is the pulmonary artery. So these arrows are downwards, right, towards the alveoli. So that means that the blue color, that is the pulmonary artery, is carrying the deoxygenated blood. From where? We studied in the notes, from the right ventricular of the heart to the lung. Lung specifically to the alveoli. Alveoli is the center of purification in the lungs. Okay. Next up, this is the main artery, right? This pulmonary artery is the main artery, which then divides into many small vessels, which is the capillaries. So these are the pulmonary artery capillaries. Capillaries are the small vessels. Now, similarly, if you see this one, there are capillaries of the pulmonary vein, which is red color, which goes upwards, and this is the pulmonary vein. So pulmonary vein, the arrows are shown upwards. That means from the alveoli, the oxygenated blood is carried to the heart. Where exactly? To the left atrium of the heart. So now if I tell you the story of the process, how it will be is, the deoxygenated blood, somewhere from here, from the heart, from the right ventricle of the heart, deoxygenated blood is sent via the pulmonary artery through the capillaries to the alveoli, and these capillaries connect to the capillaries of the pulmonary vein, that is the red color. This is the plexus formation. Plexus is the group of network. Okay, so the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein together are forming the group of network, which is known as the pulmonary plexus, through which, first of all, what happens is, when the deoxygenated blood enters the alveoli, it is oxygenated. After that, the oxygenated blood, that is the pure blood, through the capillaries of the pulmonary vein, goes upwards following the arrow to the left atrium of the heart. This is what is the pulmonary circulation of the lungs. I hope it is clear. I'll show you another diagram, that is this one. In this, there is a more closer look. I have also made arrows here. The blue arrow is for pulmonary artery, that is the blue color. See, it is going downwards, that is, it is going towards the lungs, carrying the deoxygenated or impure blood, and it is giving up capillaries like this. Similarly, this vein, that is the pulmonary vein, that is the red color vein, is also giving capillaries, but this is going upwards because it is carrying the oxygenated blood to the heart. From there, it is transported to the body. Okay, so from the heart, it is transported to the body. Simple concept is, lung is the purification center of the body, whereas heart is the transporting or pumping system of the body. So this red color, that is pulmonary vein, carries the oxygenated blood to the heart. Now here, if you come, what is it showing here is the capillaries of the vein, that is the red color, and the capillaries of the artery, that is the blue color, are coming together and merging to form a capillary plexus in the wall of the alveoli. That is what was written in the note. Now I have explained this. So now I have explained you about the pulmonary secretion. Another thing that I want to mention again is there are two pulmonary arteries, one from each lung, whereas pulmonary veins are four. Four in the sense there are two from each lung. So four pulmonary arteries. Now let us go to the bronchial circulation. Again, we will go through the notes and then we will go to the diagram. Now, the first thing is bronchial arteries are the direct branch from descending thoracic aorta. I will show a diagram representation of this. Do not get confused. Just see the notes right now. Please keep the notes in your mind and then we will go through the diagram. So, direct branch from the descending thoracic aorta. So, what they are saying here is from the descending thoracic aorta, we get a direct branch which is the bronchial arteries. Another thing is what does it supplies? It supplies the bronchial tree as far as the respiratory bronchioles. So, bronchial tree it supplies till the respiratory bronchioles. Okay. Then the another thing that you need to know is the bronchial arteries have communication with the pulmonary arteries. Why is it? Because they have connection with each other. That is, the bronchial artery and the pulmonary artery have connection with each other, so that if one of the artery is affected or injured, or if there is a lesion or there is a disease in one of the arteries, either in the bronchial or the pulmonary, the another one takes up the function of the other artery that is affected. That is, it compensates the action of the other artery so as to maintain the normal functioning of the lung. That is why there is a communication between the branches of pulmonary artery and branches of bronchial artery. Next up, I want you to know one more thing, that is, there are two bronchial arteries on the left side, whereas there is only one bronchial artery on the right side. Now let's go into the diagram so that I can explain it to you more clearly. Okay, so first of all, I told you that the bronchial arteries are the branch of descending thoracic aorta. Now, what is aorta? You would have studied in heart anatomy in your institutions that one is the ascending aorta. Let me open the pointer. So one is the ascending aorta, the part of the aorta. First part is ascending aorta, followed by arch of aorta, followed by descending aorta. So descending means downwards. Now I have made a box over here to highlight the part that I want you to focus on. In the descending aorta, I told you we have the direct branch of bronchial arteries. And I also told you that we have two left bronchial arteries and one right bronchial artery. I have highlighted this part, see. So you can see two branches of left bronchial artery and one branch of right bronchial artery. So this is what I meant when I said that there are direct branches of bronchial artery from the descending thoracic aorta. Okay. Next up, we have the bronchial tree. I told you, right, the supply of the bronchial artery. That is, the bronchial artery supplies the bronchial tree and the respiratory bronchioles, right? From the bronchial tree till the respiratory bronchioles, it supplies. So this is the bronchial tree. Why is it known as the bronchial tree? See, it looks like a tree, right? There is a main branch, then there are smaller branches. So this is the bronchial tree and these are the bronchioles. I'll show you the respiratory bronchiole in another diagram. So remember one thing, the bronchial tree, this whole thing and the bronchioles are supplied by the bronchial artery. That is why the name is bronchial, right? So bronchial artery supplies the bronchial parts. That is it. Now I'll show you the respiratory bronchioles. You can see here in this diagram, if you see the labeling here, from here if you see, these are the respiratory bronchioles. So the last part of the bronchus, that is the respiratory bronchioles, followed by this one. This is the alveoli. So that is the respiratory bronchioles. Now the last part that I already have told you, there are two branches of left bronchial artery and one branch of right bronchial artery. So that is all about today's lecture, that is the blood supply of the lung. Let me recap the subheadings that we went through. First of all, we found out that there are two circulations, bronchial and pulmonary. Then we talked about the pulmonary circulation, in which we talked about the pulmonary artery and pulmonary veins. We also saw a diagrammatic representation in which we saw how the deoxygenated blood enters the lung and how it leaves as oxygenated blood through the lungs to the heart. Okay. Then next up we saw the second circulation, which is the bronchial circulation, in which we talked about the bronchial artery, from where they come, what they supply, and how and why they communicate with the pulmonary arteries. And we also talked about the number of pulmonary arteries and bronchial arteries present in each side of the lung. So that is all about today's video. I really hope that it was clear, but if there is any question, any comments or any suggestions, please drop them down in the comment section below. I read every comment and I do make sure to reply to all of them and to follow all of them. I would be very glad if you give me recommendations of what you want, you tell me the doubts, and if you even tell me suggestions for what you want next. I would be very glad to have feedback of you people. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. I hope it was easy, and the notes will be uploaded on the Instagram page as well as in the Telegram page, link to which will be in my description below. So yeah, that is all about today. Give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe if you're new, and keep watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.